Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Friday, the 13th day of May, 2022, Friday of the fourth week of Easter, the 27th day of Easter. Coming to you from the Great Green Slope, where the labyrinth is there in the background, but our chapel carillon is right there, as well as the cloister walk that goes along the side of the community center on that side over there. Our readings for today, as we move into the Friday of the second to last day of this fourth week of Easter. Again, Acts of the Apostles, Peter still in Antioch, again, one of the great large cities, metropolitan areas of the ancient world, becoming a great center of Christianity as Christianity gets implanted there. That Peter gives kind of facts and figures about the life of Christ, about his trial before Pilate, his crucifixion, the fact that he was, the fact that he died, he was buried, but then he rose, and that he appeared to others. Again, creating that chronology, or affirming that chronology that the Gospels represent of these last days of Christ and what occurs afterwards. The interesting thing is, while Acts of the Apostles is not written immediately after Jesus' ascension to the Father, it is written, a few decades after, and the understanding of a tradition that is already at work and that manifests itself in these writings, again, that would probably have come from the hand of the evangelist Luke, since Acts and Luke are kind of tied together, would perhaps be in the later part of the first century written down, but the fact that they represent an older tradition in what is being said and remembered, again, sort of shows that something did occur in the life of this man from Nazareth after his crucifixion and his resurrection. So again, Paul giving kind of affirmation and credibility to what it is that the Gospels themselves recount about the life of Jesus of Nazareth and the mission and the message that he promised to give. With this first reading, again, John's, the Last Supper discourses continuing from John's Gospel, with Jesus basically telling the apostles not to be afraid and to trust. Again, the whole idea, do we dare to trust that God knows what God is doing? Sometimes it seems very hard to do, sometimes it seems impossible to do, and yet that is always our greatest witness, is to be able to trust that God knows what God is doing, and to continue to have faith and to affirm that in our lives and the lives of one another. Without that trust that God knows what God is doing, then all things fall to nothing. Everything fails. Everything will never succeed. The ability, again, to trust that God knows what God is doing asks a lot of us, and it makes us sometimes stand on that great precipice, of belief and disbelief, but yet to jump into the arms of God when what it says to dare to believe allows us, again, to affirm in our own lives that God knows what God is doing, and that God will carry us always and take care of us. Jesus says in this passage from the Last Supper discourses, not to be afraid, not to worry, not to think that we are going to be left abandoned or lost, because God never loses anything that belongs to God, and all things belong to God, so nothing itself can ever be lost. To console ourselves with that, to give us confidence, and to give us courage, to enrich and energize us, with that understanding, allows us to stand forth before the world and allow the world to see a witness it desperately needs, a witness that cannot be found through its own means and its own ends, but a witness that can only be found in the life of the risen Christ, the one who makes all things new, and who brings our future and our destiny onto new courses, new trajectories, new wonders, and new amazement. A blessed Easter, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord continue to give you his peace.